Good morning, everyone. The conclusion of this week's Torah portion is the law of Egla Rufa, that if there was a man or a woman found murdered on the outskirts of a city, the elders of the nearest city have to come and say, we have not spilled this innocent blood, and ask for forgiveness for God that an innocent person was murdered. Our rabbis tell us that when Joseph revealed himself to his brothers in Egypt and sent a message back to his father, Jacob, that he's still alive, he gave his brothers a sign to prove to his father that he is indeed the son, Joseph, who was sold into slavery. And what was the sign? He said, Dad, I remember the last thing you taught me before we parted ways, before I was thrown into the pit and sold into slavery. And that was this law of what is to be done when a person is found murdered, how the elders of the city have to take responsibility for the fact that an innocent person was killed. And our rabbis say, why did he send this message? What was he communicating to his father? And what he was communicating was that even though I am a ruler in Egypt, don't think I'm a dictator. Don't think that I don't value life like many Egyptian rulers didn't value life. I am your son. I was raised by you. I know that the most important principle in Judaism is the value of every human life. And therefore, even when a stranger in our midst is found murdered, the entire city and the elders of the city have to take responsibility. Tragically, yesterday, two beautiful, innocent children, 8 and 10 years old, were shot, murdered, while praying in Mass in a Catholic church. And the hater, the murderer, was so filled with rage and anger, not just towards Christians, but towards Jews. It has been now revealed on his YouTube links, videos of messages that he posted with the most obscene, horrific statements about Jews, like 6 million wasn't enough, and other horrible messages about the IDF and Jews. And we have to ask ourselves, are we taking responsibility as an American society? How is it that there are people growing up in this country with so much hate, with so much anger, who want to kill innocent people and murder 2 innocent children yesterday? Like in this week's Torah portion, the leaders, the elders, the whole community have to look in the mirror and say, did we spill this innocent blood? And a rabbi say, of course the elders didn't kill this innocent man, but maybe their inaction to help this man led to his death. And therefore, responsibility starts on the top. And today is a tragic, sad day in America. 2 beautiful children, 8 and 10 years old, going to school, going to pray, were murdered while praying. How can this happen? We have to look in the mirror and ask ourselves, what are we doing or what are we not doing that is allowing this hatred to fester in our midst? There's a story that happened a number of years ago. There is a rabbi who was the rabbi in Kfar Chabad, Israel. His name was Rabbi Mordechai Ashkenazi. And one year before this holiday of Sukkot, a girl came to his office crying. A religious girl. She had gotten in with the wrong crowd, and she came and confided in the rabbi that she's pregnant, and she's only 16 years old, and she wants to abort the child. And Rabbi Ashkenazi said, let me think about what to do. Rabbi Ashkenazi found a couple in Paris that didn't have children, a religious family that he knew, and he said, I have this girl who got pregnant. She wants to abort the child. She's ashamed. She can't tell her family and her community. I have a plan. I will send her to Paris. She will live with you. She'll give birth, and then you'll adopt the child. The girl agreed to the plan. She was flown to Paris to live with this family. And when her due date came, she gave birth to a beautiful, healthy baby girl. The family in Paris who were childless adopted the child. The girl came back to Israel to be with her family. Rabbi Ashkenazi's children tell how when this girl became a teenager, she came to study in a high school in Israel, and she would come to their house, and the family knew the secret that her life was saved due to their father's intervention and giving this girl up to adoption. And the mother, who was now a grown woman in her 30s, would come for the holidays and Shabbat and spend time with her daughter, and had a beautiful relationship with her daughter that she had given up for adoption when she was 16 years old. Fast forward to COVID. And Rabbi Ashkenazi from Israel has a son whose name is Chaim Ashkenazi, who lives in Montreal. And during COVID, there was quarantine, the synagogues were closed, and there were outdoor services with social distancing. And Rabbi Chaim Ashkenazi, the son of Mordechai, goes to some Sephardic outdoor service. And he's sitting next to a man, a Sephardic man, and they start talking. And he says, "What's your name?" He says, "My name is Chaim Ashkenazi." He says, "Where are you from?" He says, "Originally from Israel, now I live here in Montreal." He says, "Are you related to Rabbi Mordechai Ashkenazi?" He says, "That was my father, blessed memory. He just passed away a few years ago." The man says, "I can't believe we're sitting here." He says, "Do you know your father helped save her baby by giving her up for adoption rather than aborting her?" And Rabbi Chaim said, "Of course, I grew up. I knew the girl well." He says, "Well, you're not going to believe it. That's my wife. I married this girl. And your father saved my wife's life by encouraging her mother not to abort, but to give up for adoption." Then he went on to say, "This week, my wife gave birth to a baby boy. And the Brit Milah is going to be next week. And I would like you to come to the Brit Milah to represent your father, to see this grandson of the woman who gave up for adoption enter into the covenant of Israel." And Rabbi Chaim Ashkenazi said he attended the Brit. It was during COVID. There was only 4 people there: the father, the mother, the Mohel who did the circumcision, and Rabbi Ashkenazi's son. And he was honored with sandak, which is to hold the baby during the circumcision. And the father said, "I'm giving you this honor because your father deserves this honor, but he's not alive, so you will represent him." This is the value of Judaism places on every human life. We have to start with the root of the problem, and that is we have to value life and educate our children that there's nothing more sacred and precious than human life. And God forbid, never to take a human life as we tragically saw yesterday in America. Let us take this message of the Torah portion to heart and ask for forgiveness from God, as the elders of this city did, that 2 innocent children were murdered in America. Have a wonderful day.